Tariq sat on his bed, looking at the empty side of the dorm room. The sun outside the window had just set, and the stars above the Academy's energy dome were beginning to shine. It was his second year at the Intergalactic Academy of Science and Peace. Students came from many planets to study here, but this semester was different. His last roommate had gone back to his home world, and now Tariq was waiting for a new one. He had no idea what kind of person was coming. The Academy didn't share much in advance, just a message earlier that day, new roommate assigned. Arrival time, 19 o'clock. The door beeped at exactly 19 o'clock. Tariq stood up quickly and walked over him. When it opened, he saw a tall figure standing in the hallway. The person wore a long, dark robe with a hood that covered most of the face, gloved. Hands held a small case. The skin that showed between the gloves and sleeves looked smooth and light blue. "You must be Tariq," the figure said in a calm voice. Tariq nodded. "Yeah, you must be the new roommate. Come in." The figure stepped inside and looked around the room. He moved slowly, carefully. "I'm Varn," he said. Tariq waited for more, but Varn said nothing else. He placed his case on the empty bed and sat down with his back straight. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Tariq tried to break the silence. "Where are you from?" Varn looked up. "From Treo." Tariq had heard of Treo, a quiet planet with a strange history. Its people rarely left home. Most lived in mountain cities and studied energy flows. Few Treo came to the Academy. Tariq wanted to ask more questions, but Varn didn't seem open to talking. "Well, if you need anything, let me know," Tariq said, picking up his tablet. Varn nodded once and looked out the window. That night, Varn unpacked in silence. He had no photos, no decorations. He kept his gloves on even when writing. He didn't eat dinner, just sat quietly and read from a small glowing screen. Over the next few days, things stayed quiet. Varn was polite but never joined conversations. He went to class early, came back late, and never talked unless someone asked something directly. He always kept his side of the room perfectly clean. Tariq told his friend Minna, "He's not rude, just like a shadow." One evening, Tariq forgot his tablet in the room. He had gone to the student garden to relax, but when he remembered, he rushed back. The hallway was quiet. He reached the room and tapped the door open. He expected to see Varn reading or maybe lying on the bed, but the sight inside froze him in place. Varn stood in the middle of the room, but his robe was off. His back was toward Tariq. Lines of glowing blue light ran across his body, moving in gentle waves like water. Behind him, something floated. It was like a second shape made of the same blue light. With faint arms and a head-like form, it hovered. Behind Varn, connected to him by threads of light, the air in the room felt different, warm and charged, like a storm was about to start. Tariq didn't know if he should speak or turn away. Before he could decide, Varn turned slowly and saw him. For a moment, they both froze. Tariq stepped back, heart beating fast. "I didn't mean to. I just came to get my tablet." Varn raised one hand gently. "It is all right. Just don't scream." Tariq didn't scream. He stood quietly, watching the floating form fade slowly back into Varn's body. The glow on his skin dimmed, and in seconds, Varn looked normal again. He quickly picked up his robe and covered himself. "Is that your real form?" Tariq asked. Varn sighed. "Not exactly. That is the other part of me. It stays hidden most of the time." Tariq looked around. "You could have told me." "I couldn't," Varn said, voice low. "If others find out, they will send me away, or worse." Tariq walked slowly to his bed and sat down. "Why? What is it?" "It's called the second soul," Varn said. "My people used to live with both parts open. But long ago, others feared our second souls. They believed we were too powerful. Many were hunted. Now, we hide." Tariq listened carefully. He didn't feel afraid anymore. Just curious. "So why did you come here?" "To this academy." Varn looked out the window. "Because this is the only place in the galaxy where humans lead. Your kind doesn't fear what you don't know. You ask questions. You listen. You're not like others." Tariq smiled a little. "Well, I guess I just proved that. Varn gave a soft nod. For the first time, there was a hint of trust in his eyes. I won't tell anyone. Tariq said, your secret is safe with me. Thank you, Varn said quietly. I don't have many people I can trust. Outside, the stars above the dome glowed brighter. Inside the small dorm room, two very different beings sat quietly, understanding each other for the first time. And somewhere deep within Varn, the second soul stirred with calm light. Tariq woke up early the next morning. The events of last night stayed fresh in his mind. He remembered the blue glow, the floating second form, and the look in Varn's eyes. It didn't feel like a dream. It felt real. Varn was already gone, as usual. His bed was neatly made, and the room was silent. Tariq sat up and stared at the ceiling for a moment. He had so many questions, but he didn't know where to start. At breakfast, Tariq sat with his friend Minna in the food hall. She talked about class and homework, but Tariq was distracted. He kept thinking about what Varn had said. You okay? Minna asked. Yeah, he said, just thinking about something. She raised an eyebrow. Something or someone. Tariq gave a small smile. Just something strange I saw. I'll tell you later, after classes. Tariq returned to the dorm and found Varn sitting on the floor, legs crossed, hands resting on his knees. He looked peaceful, but his eyes were closed and his body gave off a soft blue light. The second form was not fully visible, but faint lines floated above his shoulders. Tariq waited quietly. After a moment, Varn opened his eyes. You are not afraid, Varn said. Tariq shook his head. I was surprised, yes, but not afraid. That means a lot, Varn replied, even among my own kind. Many feared what they didn't understand. Tariq sat down across from him. Tell me more. I want to understand. Varn looked thoughtful. He stayed silent for a few seconds, then began to speak. My people were once different. Long ago, all of us lived with both our forms joined. We were strong, but not because of power. It was because we were complete. The second soul helps us feel deeper, see more, and understand energy. Around us, Tariq leaned forward, listening carefully. But others feared that. They saw only danger. They believed the second soul could control things it shouldn't, so they made rules. Then came the hunters. Many of us were taken. Some of us hid our second souls forever. Others lost them. Tariq looked shocked. That's terrible. It was, Varn said quietly. Now, very few of us are left who can still connect to the second soul. Most have forgotten how. I learned from my father, and he from his. It is a gift and a burden. Tariq nodded slowly. And if the Academy finds out, Varn looked serious, they will report me. The Galaxy Council still follows the old rules. They will not allow someone like me to stay free. That is why I hide. But you came to Earth, Tariq said. Why? Risk it. Varn gave a small smile. Because I heard that humans are not like the others. You are curious. You feel strong emotions, but you don't run from them. Some believe that humans are closer to what we once were. Tariq felt a strange warmth inside. He had never thought of humans as special. At the Academy, humans were just one group among many. What does your second soul do? Tariq asked. It senses energy, Varn said. Not just lights or heat, but life, emotions, truth. It sees what words hide. That is why people fear it. They cannot lie to a second soul. Tariq's eyes widened. That's amazing, Varn gave a slight nod. But it must be hidden, always. Suddenly, the room lights flickered. Varn stood up quickly, looking toward the door. What's wrong? Tariq asked. I felt something. Varn said, someone outside. Tariq got up and walked to the door. He opened it carefully, but no one was there. The hallway was quiet. Varn stepped forward, his eyes glowing slightly. He looked left and right, then touched the floor with his palm. They were here, he said. Someone was watching, listening. Tariq felt a chill. Do you think it was the Academy? No, Varn said. They would not be so quiet. I think it was one of the keepers. Keepers? Tariq asked. Varn closed the door and locked it. A secret group. They still hunt my kind. They believe the second soul is dangerous, and they want it erased? Tariq's heart beat faster. But how did they find you? I don't know. Varn said, maybe they sensed the energy, or maybe someone talked. Tariq thought for a moment. What if we make a plan? We can find out who it is. Stop them before they do something. Varn looked surprised. You would help me? Of course, Tariq said. You're my roommate and my friend. Varn smiled. It was small, but real. Then we must be careful. Very careful. That night, Varn didn't meditate. Instead, he helped Tariq set up a small security field using old academy tech. They placed sensors near the door and windows. Varn added a strange glowing crystal from his bag and placed it under the table. This will show us if anyone enters, Varn explained. Tariq nodded. We'll catch them. Before sleeping, Tariq looked at Varn and asked one last question. Your second soul, what does it see in me? Varn looked at him for a long moment. Then he said softly, something I've never seen before. Tariq smiled. I'll take that as a good thing. As the night passed, the lights outside dimmed. But inside the room, a quiet trust had begun to grow. Late at night, while the rest of the academy was quiet, Tariq sat on his bed reading. Varn sat on the floor with his legs crossed, eyes closed, glowing softly. The second soul floated faintly. Above his back like a shadow of light, the crystal under the table flickered. Tariq noticed it first. He stood up slowly and pointed. Varn, the crystal is blinking. Varn opened his eyes at once. He looked at the crystal, then moved silently toward the door. Someone is here, he whispered. Tariq turned off the room light. Both stood still. The small sensors they placed earlier began to blink, one after another, showing silent movement just outside the room. A soft sound came, a slow, careful footstep. Then a shadow passed across the bottom of the door. Varn raised his hand and pointed to the wall beside the door. There, he whispered. Tariq picked up a metal pen from his desk and held it tight. His heart beat fast. Varn held up a small round device. He pressed it, and the air shimmered in front of them. A wall of blue light appeared between the beds. The door clicked. Someone had unlocked it from the outside. The door opened slowly. A tall figure entered, dressed in a black suit with a silver badge on the arm. The face was covered with a dark mask. The figure held a scanning tool in one hand. The person walked inside, quiet like a shadow. Tariq stayed still behind the shield. The intruder stepped forward and pointed the scanner toward Varn's bed. It beeped once, softly. That was enough. Varn moved quickly, holding out his hand. The crystal under the table flashed bright blue. A pulse of light spread across the room. The shield dropped. The intruder turned. But Varn was faster. A wave of energy lifted the figure and pushed him into the wall. The scanner flew from his hand. Tariq rushed forward and grabbed it. Varn stepped close and looked into the intruder's eyes. You are Keeper, Varn said quietly. The mask moved slightly. Then the figure spoke in a cold voice. You should not be here. You know the rules. You carry a second soul. That is forbidden. Varn's glow became brighter. The rules are wrong. I'm not a danger. The figure tried to stand, but Tariq stepped in front of him. Why did you break into our room? He asked. To stop something that should never have returned, the Keeper said. We follow the ancient law. Varn stepped back and said, let him go. Tariq looked surprised, but obeyed. The Keeper stood and picked up his device, then turned to Varn. They know now, he said. You cannot hide forever. With that, he turned and left the room. Tariq locked the door again and turned to Varn. What now? He asked. Varn sat on his bed, looking tired. They will come back. Maybe not tonight, but soon. And next time, they will not come alone. Tariq sat beside him. Then we find a way to stop them. Varn looked at him. You do not have to help me. This is my fight. No, Tariq said. You're my friend. This is our fight. The next morning, they met Minna in the library. Tariq trusted her. She was smart and always ready to help. After listening to everything, Minna looked serious. So someone broke in and tried to skin Varn. She asked. Tariq nodded. Yes, they call themselves a keeper. Minna leaned forward. I've heard that name before. In a history file. Wait here. She rushed to a nearby computer screen and began searching. After a few minutes, she returned, found it, she said. The Keepers were part of an old protection group. They believed in removing dangerous knowledge. They worked in secret. They were banned 100 years ago, so they're working in secret again. Tariq said, yes, Minna replied, and they're using old tools. Look, she showed them an image of a scanner. It matched the one they had taken from the intruder. They're looking for energy traces, Minna said. And if Varn's second soul gives off a strong signal, they can find him. Varn looked thoughtful. But the skin only works if I use the energy. If I stay calm, it stays quiet, Minna frowned. That's not a real solution. You can't hide forever. We need proof. We need to show the Academy who these people are and what they're doing. Tariq nodded. Let's catch them. Varn looked at both of them. If we do this, we must be careful. If the Academy finds out before we have proof, they may take me too. Then we don't make mistakes. Minna said, we watch, we record, we plan. That night, they set new traps. Small cameras were hidden in the hallway. The crystal was moved to the corner of the room for a wider view. Varn stayed quiet, sitting near the window. Tariq sat with him. What are you thinking? Tariq asked. Varn looked at the stars above. I came here to find peace, to learn. I never wanted to fight. You're not fighting alone. Tariq said, and maybe this is more than just your story. Varn turned to him. You once asked what I saw in you. Tariq nodded. I see balance. Varn said, humans carry both strength and kindness, emotion and reason. That is what makes you special. Tariq smiled. Then let's prove it. Outside their room, the camera lights blinked. Someone had returned, but this time, they were ready. The next morning, Tariq, Varn, and Minna gathered in the quiet corner of the Academy library. They watched the camera footage on Minna's tablet. The video clearly showed the masked intruder entering the hallway again during the night. He stopped near the room, placed something small on the wall, and left without entering. Minna zoomed in. That's a signal tracker. He's marking your room. She has AIDVA or N nodded slowly. He wants others to find me. Tariq felt his chest tighten. We need to act fast. If more of them come, we may not be able to stop them. Minna thought for a moment. I have an idea. We need to learn what makes the second soul different. If we understand it, maybe we can prove you're not a threat, and maybe we'll find something useful. Varn looked curious. You want to study my energy? Minna nodded. Yes. There's a biology lab in the old wing. It's no longer in use, but I have the passcode. We can run a test there. Tariq looked at Varn. Are you okay with that? Varn stayed quiet for a few seconds, then said, I trust you. That night, they went to the old wing. The halls were dusty and silent. Lights flickered as they passed at the far end. Minna unlocked the door to the lab. Inside, everything was covered with plastic sheets. They cleared a table and powered up one of the scanners. Varn sat on a chair and took off his gloves. The glowing lines on his hands pulsed gently. Minna carefully attached the sensor pads to his skin. I'll run a basic scan. Nothing dangerous. Varn nodded. The screen lit up with waves of energy. Bright blue patterns moved across the display. Minna's eyes widened. This is beautiful. She whispered. The energy flows like it's alive. Suddenly, one of the energy lines flickered and reached out toward Tariq. The scanner beeped. What was that? Tariq asked, stepping back. Minna checked the screen. That shouldn't happen. You're not connected. Varn looked at Tariq. Come closer. Tariq walked slowly to the table. The energy wave moved again, softly wrapping around his wrist. Like a thread of light, the scanner glowed brighter. Minna stared in shock. This is not normal. The energy is reacting to you. It's never done that before. Varn touched Tariq's hand. The light between them grew stronger. Then, for a brief moment, Tariq's skin glowed faint blue. Varn's eyes widened. This is not just reaction. Your body is accepting the energy. Tariq felt warm inside. Not burning, but alive. Why is this happening? Minna spoke slowly. Maybe human DNA has something hidden, something not yet discovered. Varn looked serious. Your kind may not be as ordinary as others. Believe, Tariq pulled back his hand. The glow faded. Mina saved the data and turned off the scanner. We have to be careful with this. If someone finds out, they may come after Tariq too. Varn stood up. This changes everything. If humans can connect to second soul energy, then maybe the Keepers fear you more than they admit. Tariq felt, both excited and nervous. What does this mean for us? It means, Varn said, you are part of this now, not just by choice, but by nature. Suddenly, the room lights went out. They froze. A soft hum came from the hallway. They found. US, Varn said quickly. Mina grabbed the tablet. Tariq picked up the scanner. Varn led them to a back door, which opened into a narrow stairwell. They ran down to levels and came out in the underground garden dome, a place used for quiet study. It was empty at this hour. Varn placed his hand on the grass. We are safe. Here for now. Tariq sat on a bench, catching his breath. That was close. Mina looked at the scanner screen. We still have the data, but we need to hide it. Varn took the scanner and pressed his palm to it. The lights blinked, and a small energy lock appeared on the screen. No one can open this without my touch now, he said. Tariq looked up. We need answers. Why can I do this? What is in human DNA that connects to your energy? Mina nodded. There's only one place we might find that answer. The ancient archives under the academy. Varn's eyes narrowed. That place is locked to students, not if we use the service tunnel. Mina said with a grin. Tariq stood up. Then we go tomorrow night. As they walked back to their room, Tariq felt something inside him, a quiet strength, something new. It wasn't just about helping Varn anymore. It was about discovering a truth bigger than them both. Varn looked at him with calm eyes. You were never just my roommate, he said softly. Tariq smiled. And you were never just a visitor from another world. The stars above the dome sparkled. Quietly, a bond had been made. And in the heart of the academy, something ancient had begun to stir again. Night at the academy was quiet, but not peaceful. Tariq stood outside the service tunnel entrance behind the storage dome. The wind from the vent blew softly. He checked his watch. Varn and Mina were late. His heart was beating faster than usual. This part of the academy was off limits at night. If someone found him here, he would be in trouble. Then he saw a light blink twice in the distance. It was the signal. Mina stepped out from the shadows first, followed by Varn. Both moved quickly and quietly. Tariq opened the tunnel door. They entered together, closing it behind them. The tunnel was narrow and dark. Pipes ran along the walls, and the floor was dusty. Mina led the way with her small flashlight. We follow the straight for 200 meters, she said. Then take a right. That leads to the old archive door. Tariq looked at Varn. Are you ready? Varn nodded. Yes, but I feel something strange. What kind of strange? Tariq asked. Varn closed his eyes. Energy is shifting. Like someone is watching, but from far. They kept moving. After 10 minutes, they reached a steel door. A keypad was attached to the side. Mina typed in a code. The door unlocked with a soft click. Inside was a large, round room. Books, data tablets, and memory cubes filled the walls. A soft light glowed from the ceiling. This is the ancient archive, Mina said. Almost no one comes here anymore. They moved toward the center table. Varn placed the scanner down and connected it to the old system. If humans carry something in their DNA that connects to second soul energy, maybe the answer is hidden in your history, he said. The screen lit up. Files appeared one by one. Mina began searching keywords: energy link, ancient human, early experiments, forbidden data. Tariq stood quietly, watching the screen. He didn't know what they were looking for exactly, but he had a feeling something important was close. Suddenly, the screen flashed red. Warning, restricted file detected. Mina looked at the code. This is very old, from before Earth joined the Galaxy Council. Varn placed his palm on the scanner again. The lock melted away, and the file opened. A video played. An old human scientist appeared on the screen, standing in a dusty lab. My name is Dr. Alan Rel. If anyone finds this, know that Earth once held a truth that others feared. Long ago, our ancestors had a connection to living energy. It was part of us, but over time, we lost it, or we were made to forget. The image changed, showing a child surrounded by glowing threads, much like Varn's second soul. We discovered that the energy some aliens call the second soul once lived inside humans too. It was peaceful, but powerful. The Council feared what we might become. They erased records. They broke the link, but not all of it. Some humans still carry the sleeping spark. The video ended. Tariq stared at the screen. I carry that spark, he said slowly. Varn looked at him with calm eyes. Yes, that's why my second soul responded to you. You are not just a friend, you are key. Before they could speak more, the lights went out. Footsteps echoed in the tunnel. They found us. Minna whispered. Tariq grabbed the scanner. Varn reached for the crystal. The tunnel door burst open, and shadows filled the room. 5 masked figures entered. Each wore black suits with silver badges. The keepers had arrived. Step away from the machine, the leader said. Varn moved in front of the table. His body began to glow. I will not go with you, he said. You are forbidden, the leader replied. And now the human too. He carries the spark. That is a danger. Tariq stepped beside Varn. I'm not afraid of your rules. Then you will be silenced, the keeper said. One of the figures raised a weapon. A blue beam fired toward Varn, but the beam stopped midair. Tariq had raised his hand. A glowing field of energy had formed around them. Varn looked at him, surprised. You did that? I don't know how, Tariq replied, his voice shaking. But I felt something, and it just happened. The second soul inside Varn became fully visible now. It wrapped around both of them, protecting them. The keepers stepped back. Varn raised his hand. A pulse of light pushed the attackers away. Minna threw a flash device on the ground, and light filled the room. Go, she shouted. Take the data. I'll cover you. Tariq and Varn ran through the back tunnel, the scanner in hand. They reached a quiet hallway near the garden dome. Both were breathing hard. Varn touched Tariq's shoulder. You used the energy without training. That should not be possible. Tariq looked down at his hands. I didn't think. I just knew you were in danger. Varn smiled. That is what makes your kind different. You act not from fear, but from care. Back in the room, Minna joined them an hour later. Her uniform was dirty, but she was smiling. They didn't catch me, she said. And I erased the camera records. Varn placed the scanner on the desk. We now have proof. The keepers tried to harm a student. We have their faces, their tools. Minna nodded. And we also have a truth they wanted to keep buried. Tariq looked out the window at the stars. They wanted to stop something. But now it's too late. Varn stood beside him. The spark has returned, and it lives inside you. That night, the academy slept in silence. But something had changed. The keepers had failed. The secret had awakened, and the galaxy would soon learn the truth. After the night of the keepers' attack, Tariq woke feeling different. His hands tingled softly, as if a quiet power had begun to grow inside him. The memory of the glowing shield and the pulse of energy he had created stayed with him. He had no idea how he had done it, but he knew one thing clearly: he was no longer the same. Varn sat on the edge of his bed, watching Tariq quietly. You have changed, he said softly. Tariq nodded. I feel it too, like something is awake inside me. Varn's second soul flickered above his back, glowing a little brighter. That is the energy of the second soul. You have unlocked it. How? Tariq asked. It is not about how, Varn said. But why? Your kind holds balance in both heart and mind. That harmony allows you to accept the second soul's power. Tariq looked down at his hands. He flexed his fingers, feeling the faint warmth. We need to train, Varn said. If you can use the energy, you must learn control. Tariq agreed without hesitation. Over the next days, they worked together in secret. Varn taught Tariq how to sense the energy flowing through the air, how to calm his mind and focus his thoughts, how to let the power grow without fear. At first, Tariq struggled. The energy was wild, like a river with no path. but slowly, under Varn's guidance, it became easier to hold. One afternoon, Minna joined them. She brought new data from the Academy. Archives. I found a report, she said, from before Earth joined the Council. It talks about a seed of light, a being who could hold both forms of energy in perfect balance. Tariq's eyes widened. That sounds like me. Varn smiled. It might be. The seed of light was a legend. Many thought it was lost. Minna looked serious. If that seed is real, then you are more important than you think. That night, Tariq meditated alone in the garden dome. The stars above seemed brighter. The air felt alive with possibility. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed in his mind. You carry the light of many worlds. Do not fear your gift. Tariq opened his eyes. He saw a faint glow in the distance. It was Varn's second soul, floating above the grass. Are you here? Tariq whispered. The light pulsed gently. You are ready, the voice said. Together, you will change the galaxy. Tariq felt hope rise inside him. The next day, Varn and Tariq visited the Academy Council chamber. The room was large, filled with representatives from many planets. Varn stepped forward and showed them the data they had collected, the video of the keepers, the ancient archives, and the scanner. We ask for your understanding, Varn said. The second soul is not a danger. It is a gift, part of a balance. Many have forgotten. Some council members whispered among themselves. One elder stood and nodded slowly. Perhaps it is time to reconsider the old laws, she said. The galaxy cannot fear what it does not understand. Tariq stepped forward. Humans are not weak. We hold power and kindness together. That balance can bring peace. The room grew quiet. The elders smiled. We will open new studies to learn more about this gift, and we will protect those who carry it. Tariq felt pride and relief. Varn placed a hand on his shoulder. You have awakened more than power, Varn said. You have awakened hope. That evening, Tariq and Varn walked outside the academy. The stars stretched across the sky like never before. We are not alone, Tariq said, and together, we can face whatever comes. Varn's second soul shimmered warmly. The light within you shines bright. The galaxy will never be the same. As they looked to the future, a new journey began, a journey of discovery, friendship, and the power of balance. The academy was buzzing with new energy. News of Tariq's awakening and Varn's second soul spread quickly, but instead of fear, it brought hope. Students from many planets came to learn about the second soul and the connection between species. Tariq and Varn had become leaders of a small group of students who wanted to understand the energy more deeply. Minna helped organize lessons and research sessions. The three friends worked together, growing stronger with each day. One afternoon, Tariq sat in the garden dome, watching the stars. Varn joined him quietly. Do you ever think about what comes next? Tariq asked. Varn smiled. Every day. This is only the beginning. Tariq looked at him. I used to think I was just an ordinary human. Now, I see I am something more. Varn nodded. You are the bridge between worlds. Suddenly, a message appeared on the Academy's main screen. It was from the Galaxy Council. They invited Tariq and Varn to speak at a special assembly. The topic was the future of energy, unity, and peace among planets. The day of the assembly arrived. The great hall was filled with representatives, scholars, and curious onlookers. Tariq and Varn stood together, their hearts steady but full of hope. Tariq stepped forward and spoke clearly. We have learned that the light inside us is not a weapon, but a gift. It connects us all. When we accept our differences and work together, we become stronger. Varn followed. The second soul is part of who we are. Hiding it only weakens us. Together, humans and aliens can build a future where trust and understanding guide us. The audience was silent for a moment. Then, applause filled the hall. The council elder from before stood up and smiled. Your words remind us that unity is the greatest power. Let this be a new chapter for the galaxy. After the assembly, many students and leaders approached Tariq and Varn. They offered friendship, ideas, and support. Back at the academy, life continued with new excitement. Tariq and Varn trained, studied, and taught. Their friendship deepened, and the bond between their worlds grew stronger. One evening, as they walked beneath the stars, Tariq asked, "What do you see in the future?" Varn looked at the sky. "A galaxy where light and shadow live in balance, where no one fears what they do not understand." Tariq smiled. "And where roommates like us can walk in by mistake and find something amazing." Varn laughed softly. "Yes, something amazing indeed." The stars shone bright above them, and the universe felt wide and full of promise. Together, they stepped forward into a new beginning.